A few years as Hand of the King would make anyone want to piss off the edge of the world.
Get done, Mr. Proudstar.
My name is Thunderbird.
John, she knows who you are. You'll always be a threat to her.
I love you, little brother. You'll be a good king.
Time to hold hands.
Marcos, now!
The North is free, thanks to you.
But they lost their king.
I'm not going back north.
You wanted the power of the Von Struckers.
It's all yours.
"2019 was a big year for movie and TV show lovers alike. We bid goodbye to many of our favorites.
Take care of our family. Take care of our kids.
In this video, we take a look at the top 5 finales of TV shows that ended in 2019. The Man in the High Castle is an alternate history of the world in which the Axis powers won World War II, and right from the beginning, it was a fan favorite.
The day after tomorrow, I'm going to be taking a train to the Poconos. I'd like you to join me.
It begins with the Reichsfuhrer John Smith making a televised announcement to the Greater Nazi Reich about Heinrich Himmler's passing and promising to unify the divided continent.
Heinrich Himmler was a father to our people. We mourn his loss.
Next, vigilantes try to eliminate Chief Inspector Kido by placing him into a makeshift gas chamber, but he ultimately manages to escape with a hint of luck. After this, Robert Children visits the Bamboo Palace and offers the keys to his antique shop to Okami in exchange for a permit to Japan, but before he can make a decision, Kido enters and guns down a Yakuza guard.
I want my son.
Ultimately, Kido agrees to become Okami's chief advisor in exchange for him letting his son Toru off the hook and a safe passage back to Japan. At the Smith household, after a broadcast by the BCR that reveals the true nature of the German ideology, Helen is forced to confront her past mistakes in front of her daughter.
It was you. You and Daddy, you killed them.
It is after this that Helen discovers John's plan to build concentration camps to commit mass genocide in the name of racial purity. Next day, as they are riding a bullet train to the Poconos Mountains, Helen and John have an argument about their actions, and as Helen implores her husband to stop, Juliana activates the charges and blows up a large part of the railway line, causing the bullet train to violently crash into the ground.
It was me, John.
John survives but is hounded by Juliana, who finds him resting at a cliff. Ultimately though, he kills himself. In the aftermath of his death, Bill Whitcroft makes a last-minute decision to abort the invasion and renounces the Nazi cause. In the end, Hawthorne leaves for another world, and Juliana and Wyatt encounter hundreds of people from different multiverses walking towards them from the other side of the portal.
They're coming.
From where?
Everywhere.
After 4 seasons of Elliot Alderson wearing his black hoodie like a superhero wears a cape, the 2-part finale twists the entire show on its head, but yet it somehow works. The first part is entirely a ruse, where Elliot apparently wakes up in an alternate reality where his parents never abused him and Angela is still alive.
What was that? You felt that too, right? It was like an earthquake.
Seduced by the allure of having a normal life, Elliot kills the severely injured alt-world Elliot.
Everything in his life seems perfect, but nobody is as perfect as they seem.
Ultimately, we realize that all this is in his head, and it was about a year back that Elliot Alderson disappeared into his own head and someone else entirely came out. In all the 43 episodes of Mr. Robot, we never actually met Elliot Alderson. Instead, we have only seen the vengeance-obsessed hacker part of his personality, known as the Mastermind.
But there's another one. Krista never quite figured it out, did she?
In the end though, the Mastermind returns to Elliot's mind with the rest of his other personas, and the real Elliot wakes up in the hospital and is greeted by Darlene.
I want you to know I love you.
The finale of HBO's Watchmen was satisfying on many levels. In the beginning, Lady True is revealed to be the daughter of Ozymandias from artificial insemination, and she rescues her father from Europa after he begs for her help. She revives Adrian only with an hour left before the Millennium Clock activates, when she plans to steal Dr. Manhattan's power for herself.
I'm going to destroy him and absorb his power in about an hour.
After the attack on Angela's house, Joe explains that originally they were to revolt against President Redford, but after discovering Manhattan's presence on Earth, they changed their plans to take his powers instead. Due to their lack of scientific knowledge, plan backfires and Keen is liquefied.
Absorbing atomic energy is gonna pop you like a water balloon every time.
Drew destroys Manhattan, but not before he teleports Laurie, Wade and Adrian to Karnak.
Do what?
You're gonna kill us, right?
Oh yeah, of course I am.
There Adrian uses the squid rain device to send frozen squid to fall in Greenwood, which kills Lady Drew before she can take Manhattan's powers. Back at home, Angela finds an unbroken egg and prepares to walk on water after eating it, signifying that she now has been imbued with Dr. Manhattan's powers.
So that's the thing you can do.
I suppose I could transfer my atomic components into some sort of organic material.
The Americans is one of the most criminally undermarketed shows of the modern era.
I saw them out of their disguises.
And it blew our minds with one of the best finales ever. It began with Philip and Elizabeth agreeing to take their daughter Paige to the USSR, but leave Henry at the boarding school.
Henry should stay.
Next, Arkady tells Igor that Oleg has been arrested by the FBI and charged with espionage, and because he was there on a student visa, a prisoner exchange would not be possible. After this, we get the most awaited confrontation between Stan and Philip, Elizabeth and Paige. It is one of the most gut-wrenching scenes in the show when Philip says that they're not murderers and Stan calls him a liar.
Fucking liar.
You should probably shoot me, but we're getting in that car.
Eventually, Stan allows them to leave, and Paige and Philip ask Stan to look after Henry.
I don't know how to say this, but I think there's a chance Renee might be one of us.
Later, Dennis shows Stan the sketches which confirm that the illegals are Philip and Elizabeth. Stan pretends to be surprised and vows to Dennis that he will kill Philip. In the final act, Paige decides to abandon her parents and stay back in America, and Stan travels to New Hampshire to tell Henry about his parents. Philip and Elizabeth enter the USSR by car and meet Arkady to drive to Moscow, where they reflect on their life.
Colonel, I can't even remember his name now.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Legion is the best superhero TV show till date, edging out The Boys and Doom Patrol. In this episode, being stuck in a time loop, Carrie and Kerry merge to fight the time monsters alongside Sid. Meanwhile, Switch surrenders herself to the time demons, but her father appears and elevates her to a higher level of existence, revealing both he and Switch have the ability to control time demons. After a brilliant cover of Pink Floyd's Mother, David finally overpowers the younger Farouk, while the present-day Farouk travels with Charles to the astral plane, where he reveals that all he wants is to help David.
I did not come here to defeat David, but to aid him in his quest.
After this, both the Farouks and Charles and David reach a truce.
You have become soft in your old age. Was I really this bitter? Filled with hate. Let me show you what I've learned. I'm not.
Switch reveals to Sid that David's actions would create new versions of David and Sid, erasing the present ones from existence.
Nothing of value is ever lost. Sidney Barrett, the universe acknowledges you. That you exist and that your existence is important.
In the end, David and Sid talk with each other for a final time, with Sid imploring him to be a good boy. This brings us to the end. I admit our list could potentially polarize a lot of you, so do let me know in the comments which were your favorite ones. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Click on the little bell icon to be notified whenever a new one comes out. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. I'll see you guys next time.